After Jesse Williams had a very inspirational and courageous speech during the BET Awards talking about the issues that the black community faces in the United States, of course, there were some individuals that were upset about it. And as a result, there was a petition on change.org to get him fired from his role on Grey's Anatomy. Now, little do those people who signed the petition know that the person behind Grey's Anatomy, the producer, is Shonda Rhimes, and she actually had no problem with his speech. Now, before we get to all the details of the updates to this story, for those of you who didn't catch his speech, here's a little snippet of it.
Yesterday would have been young Tamir Rice's 14th birthday. So I don't want to hear any more about how far we've come when paid public servants can pull a drive-by on a 12-year-old playing alone in a park in broad daylight, killing him on television and then going home to make a sandwich. Tell Rakia Boyd how it's so much better to live in 2012 than it is to live in 1612 or 1712. Tell that to Eric Garner. Tell that to Sandra Bland. Tell that to Dorian Hunt.
So that was part of his speech during the BET Awards, and people got up in arms about it because they felt like it was this attack on white people and an attack on cops. But all he was simply doing was raising awareness of the number of black individuals over the last few years who were shot and killed by cops when they were unarmed. Tamir Rice was the first person he mentioned. He was only 12 years old, playing with a toy gun at a park, and he was shot within 2 seconds of police arriving to the scene, okay? Now, people were so up in arms about it that they signed this petition. According to International Business Times, a petition to ABC on change.org, which now has 8,000 signatures, argues that Williams' speech constitutes racism against white people and stokes racial hatred.
Man, let's see if I can make it through this story without going off on these people. I doubt it. All right, let's start calm. Look, asking people not to shoot you is not racism. Saying, hey, that's my 12-year-old boy, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him in 2 seconds. Sandra Bland didn't do anything wrong when she was originally arrested. We showed that video. We dissected that video. She had every right, and every legal expert says she had every right to do exactly as she did. Doesn't matter. They dragged her out of the car. They beat her. They put her in the prison. And then they say she hung herself inside that prison. She's dead either way. Eric Garner says, I can't breathe. They didn't. So what do you want them to do? You think that it's racist to complain about killing a guy, choking a guy to death? So, well, you can't complain about that? So you're just going to be like, okay, I don't want to be racist, so go ahead and murder me anytime you like. Is that what they're supposed to say? Now, you people are disgusting, man. You really are. And so this is, is it a statement about white people? Of course not. The majority of the country is white. They didn't all do it. Is it a statement, Anna's white? Is it a statement about Anna? No, I don't know what I am. Is it a statement about me? No. It's a statement about the cops that specifically shot or choked those people or killed them in other ways. It's a statement about them. And it's a statement about society saying, hey, guys, hear our plea to not murder our children anymore. And if you think that that is against you, well, then I guess you're owning up to saying, you're raising your hand. Everybody who signs this petition is raising their hand saying, I am the racist you're talking about. That's why I've taken personal offense.
I feel like a speech like that wouldn't get under your skin unless you somehow have a guilty conscience. Because I see a speech like that and I recognize the injustices and it's something that I want a solution for, right? It doesn't make me insecure about who I am. It doesn't make me feel like I'm being attacked personally. It makes me realize, hey, you know what? Here's an issue in society. We need to find solutions. And for some reason, people are getting up in arms about it. By the way, Jesse Williams is half white. His mom is Swedish, okay, and his dad is black. So I don't know, it sounds a little strange calling him a racist against white people. Anyway, so let me read you from the change.org petition because this is the reason why it went up and I want to see what you have to say about it, Cenk. Jesse Williams spewed a racist hate speech against law enforcement and white people at the BET Awards. If this was a white person making the same speech about African Americans, they would have been fired and globally chastised, as they should be, but there has been no consequences to Williams' actions. There's been no companies making a stand against his racist remarks and no swift action condemning his negative attitude.
What are you being so negative for? I get to kill your kids. What are you being so negative for? My whole life, I'm used to being in charge and I can do whatever the hell I want to you. What are you complaining about? Just shut up and take it. Look, the person who wrote that is racist. So you want to cry? You want to cry? Go ahead and cry about it. Almost everyone who signed that petition is racist. You want to cry about that? Go ahead and cry about that. Okay, because what you're saying is like, okay, here, I'll give you a super random example. Let's say there's a guy who, while accepting a humanitarian award, as Jesse Williams was doing, says, I'm from Tibet, and I would like China to free me, okay? And I think that China is not giving us our freedom and we want democracy, etc. And if you then turned around and said, man, that guy is so racist against the Chinese, people would be like, what are you talking about? He's just saying, can I have my freedom?
Right.
Right? And if I protest against the Chinese government, can they not imprison me or kill me? Ah, look at what you're saying about the Chinese. You're racist. No. If you do that, and by the way, some do, and those are the people who are in power in China, that's because you're actually oppressing the people of Tibet. Now, I know it's a random example, but I picked it randomly because I want you to divorce it from whatever your biases are, because that doesn't affect most of the people here in the U.S. Okay? So now when you say, like, I mean, you're complaining about cops murdering your fellow citizens, so what? No, you're the racist for complaining about it. I mean, how could you not see that? How can you not see that? And to me, like, nobody looks at that statement and goes, that isn't like, oh, I can't believe he called me racist. If you're objective about it, you go, oh man, look, let's find an answer. That sucks that isn't that horrible that the 12-year-old was killed, that the guy was choked to death? Okay, actually, Eric Garner, it wasn't for loose cigarettes, which he'd done in the past. He was actually being a good Samaritan, breaking up a fight in that scenario, but they killed him anyway. So isn't that unfortunate? Let's find an answer to that. And your answer is, no, it's not unfortunate. What, they had it coming? And you think you're not a racist? You are a racist.
So Shonda Rhimes responded to this, and she just says, people, boo don't need a petition, okay? She's been supportive of Black Lives Matter ever since it came about, and so I'm glad that she spoke out and basically told everyone to piss off, anyone who signed that petition. But I think that there is a tiny silver lining to this story, and that silver lining is that about 8,000 people signed the petition.
That's
right?
not that many.
That's not that many.
That's right.
So look, I know that there are way more people out there who believe in what this petition is trying to peddle to us, right? But at the same time, when a petition does well, it gets tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people to sign it within a short period of time. Only 8,000 people signed this petition. So again, that's a small but notable silver lining.
Let me give you context. I offhandedly once said on the show, way before Bernie Sanders came on the program, wouldn't it be nice if Bernie Sanders came on a really progressive show like ours? This was months ago, right? Within 24 hours, 17,000 people had signed that petition, and they all liked Bernie Sanders. I didn't even create the petition. We didn't even know the petition existed for most of that time. Somebody created the petition immediately, 17,000 people signed it, okay? So that's when there's a real movement.
Right.
8,000 people raising their hand, complaining that they don't get to kill black people anymore, and that that's racist for you to stop killing black people. Go ahead and piss off. So all these people cry away, I can't believe you called me racist. Well, if you're not sickened by that poor kid dying, you're not bothered by all the innocent people who were shot to death and killed, well then, why aren't you bothered by that? Yes, I question your morality. And I love that Jesse Williams did that speech, and I wish I got an opportunity. Wait till you get a load of me, okay? Because then, you're going to have a river of tears about what I said about you. Oh no, golly gee, I don't get to lord over black people anymore. Boo-hoo me. Yeah, boo-hoo you. Fuck off.